You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 11th of July. Indian trade team to visit US soon for more talks, Trade Ministry official says. Pakistan government rejects coup rumors involving Army Chief Munir. And Bangladesh ex-PM Hasina indicted in crimes against humanity case. And now for all the details. Amid proposed talks on a trade deal between India and the US, a delegation from New Delhi is expected to visit Washington soon for negotiations. The two countries look forward to work on the disagreements over duties for various items such as auto components, steel, and farm goods, finding common grounds that suits their interests. US President Donald Trump last month hinted at a very big trade deal with India after a team of negotiators from both countries held talks on the agreement. While addressing the Big Beautiful Bill event at the White House, he said, "We just signed with China yesterday. We are having some great deals. We have one coming up, maybe with India. Very big one." India is among the few countries that are still in talks with US over finalizing a trade deal. The ongoing dialogue suggests a series of serious efforts by both the countries to improve trade ties. President Trump has given a deadline of 1st of August and threatened the higher tariffs will be imposed on countries after that. The tariff implementation was initially planned for April, later paused for 90 days, now extended till August. Meanwhile, Trump continues to pressurize countries with his tariff policy as he announced a new list of tariffs on Wednesday targeting 14 countries, including Sri Lanka, Iraq, and Libya. And amid speculation of a military coup led by Pakistan Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir against incumbent President Asif Ali Zardari, the Pakistan government has denied any such development. In a post on X, Pakistan's Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi refuted the claim and said there has been no discussion, nor does such any idea exist about the president being asked to resign or the army chief aspiring to assume the presidency. In a veiled reference targeted at main opposition party PTI, Naqvi added, "They are aware who is spreading the falsehood and who benefits from this propaganda." He further accused those involved in collaborating with hostile foreign agencies, but vowed that the government's focus remains on strengthening the country. The Pakistan Army is considered the most powerful institution in the South Asian nation. It has a long history of direct and indirect political involvement, having staged successful coups in 1958, 1977, and 1999, and ruling directly for significant periods. Even during civilian rule, the military often exerts influence behind the scenes, shaping government policies and leadership transitions. While the incumbent army chief has said the force will not interfere in political matters, in contrast, critiques including Imran Khan-led PTI have accused military under Munir of maligning democracy and undermining the political process. The military influence in Pakistan landscape was also recently seen in May 2025, after even facing significant losses to military installation against India. Munir was elevated to Field Marshal rank. And in a major setback to the Pakistani security apparatus, armed separatist group Balochistan Liberation Front launched Operation Balm as multiple coordinated attacks rocked government installations across the region. At least 17 attacks were reported from various districts of the region. Authorities also retrieved bullet-ridden bodies of 9 passengers who were traveling on a bus bound to Pakistan's Punjab province, responsibility of which was claimed by the BLF. Spokesperson of the separatist group, Gwaharam Baloch, described the operation as a new dawn in the Baloch National Liberation War, asserting that the campaign spans from the Makran coastal region to the mountainous Koh-e-Suleiman range. He claimed the attacks were carefully coordinated to inflict both human and material losses on Pakistani security forces. The attacks mark one of the largest and most coordinated offenses by the BLF in recent years, highlighting ongoing unrest and separatist tensions in the Baloch majority province. In recent months, separatists have stepped up their attacks, mostly targeting Pakistan's military, which has launched an intelligence-based offensive against them. Their other main targets have been Chinese nationals and interests, in particular the strategic port of Gwadar on the Arabian Sea, with separatists accusing Beijing of helping Islamabad to exploit resources. And the International Crimes Tribunal of Bangladesh has ordered the framing of formal charges against former PM Sheikh Hasina and two others accused in the case over crimes against humanity during the last year's mass uprising in the nation, the Dhaka Tribune has reported. The other accused are former Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and former IGP Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun. Only the former IGP has been arrested in the case so far and informed the court that he wants to voluntarily become a state witness. Sheikh Hasina and Asaduzzaman Khan, on the other hand, have been shown as absconders. Earlier, a BBC report cited that Hasina allegedly ordered security forces to open fire on protesters during the 2024 July-August unrest. The revelation has become a key evidence against her in the ongoing trial in absentia. The protests began over public job quotas but quickly escalated into a widespread anti-government movement. On 5th of August, as demonstrations intensified, Hasina reportedly fled to India just hours before protesters stormed her official residence. Following her ouster, Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus was declared as the head of the interim government. Dhaka recently, in a letter, requested India to extradite Hasina. Moving on, Sri Lanka's opposition leader Sajid Premadasa has reacted sharply to the new US tariff announcement on Sri Lankan ports, blaming it on poor negotiation skills of the government. In a post on X, he said the 30% US tariff on Sri Lankan exports is the price we pay for poor negotiation. Our ego kept us from seeking every ally, every expert hand, and now nearly $3 billion in exports hangs in the balance, he added. The US decision was communicated in a letter addressed to President Anurakkumara Dissanayake on Wednesday. It directly threatens the island nation's apparel sector, which pulled in $1.9 billion last year, mostly from the exports to the United States. The industry employs around 300,000 people. A senior official from the Finance Ministry said on Thursday that Colombo is continuing discussions with Washington in hopes of mitigating the blow. Despite these headwinds, the IMF last week maintained a positive forecast for Sri Lanka's economy. However, the global lender also flagged growing external risks, particularly those stemming from abrupt shifts in global trade policy. And the auspicious monsoon month of Sawan commenced with great religious fervor across India as a large number of Hindu devotees visited temples and offered prayers to God of destruction, Lord Shiva, on Friday. Take a look.
Hundreds of devout Hindus flock the famous Mahakaleshwar temple in Ujjain and other temples across India that are dedicated to Lord Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction, to offer special prayers to mark the onset of the auspicious monsoon month of Sawan or Shravan. Priests performed special prayers while devotees offered milk, curd, honey and holy water to the phallus representation of Lord Shiva. Some devotees also observed a special fast and made holy offerings.
आज बाबा का सावन का पहला दिन है और मुझे यहाँ के बहुत आनंदपूर्वक बहुत ही खुशी मिल रही है क्योंकि आज बाबा का जो आज भस्मारती का मुझे लेने का आनंद प्राप्त हुआ है उसका एक जो सौभाग्य प्राप्त है उसकी एक बात ही अलग है तो बहुत अच्छा लगा है मुझे आज और मैंने आज अपनी फैमिली के लिए अपने लिए पूरे विश्व के लिए बहुत प्रार्थना और कामना की है कि सब स्वस्थ और मस्त रहे.
Meanwhile, in the temple town of Haridwar, devotees took a holy dip in Ganga River and offered prayers on the occasion. Devotees also began the annual journey known as Karwad Yatra that takes place during Sawan. Karwad Yatra is named after the Karwad, a single pole, usually made of bamboo, with two containers fastened at opposite ends. The devotees of Lord Shiva, known as Karwadias, fetch water from the holy Ganga River and carry on arduous journey to offer the sacred water at the local Shiva temples to seek blessings.
सावन का पहला दिन है, सभी कावड़ियों को लिए बहुत शुभकामनाएं। आए हुए जितने भक्तजन हैं उनकी सबको मनोकामना संपूर्ण होगी।
As per Hindu legends, Lord Shiva had consumed the poison which came out of the churning of the ocean and saved the world during Sawan month. Therefore, his devotees mark the sacred month to pray to him to seek his blessings for good health and fortune and protection from all dangers.
That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.